You've been waking up differently this week, haven't you? Sharper, closer to the surface, as if something inside you has already made a decision and is just waiting for the rest of you to catch up. You're not imagining it. The cosmos is confirming what you've already been sensing. Tomorrow morning at 6:52 Eastern Time, Mars, at 15 degrees and 11 minutes of Aries, reaches across 45 degrees of sky and makes contact with Uranus. And Uranus, that planet of sudden truth, of lightning, of the door you didn't know was there until it was already open. Uranus has been in Gemini for exactly 4 days, for the first time since 1942. Let me say that again because I want it to land. The last time Uranus was where it is right now, your parents were young. Your grandparents were younger. The world was reorganizing itself around radio, around the first computers, around a war that was redrawing every map, and the people you came from were living through it. I need you to hear this before tomorrow morning. This is why I had to record this today. I'm Luna Solano, and today I'm not going to give you a lecture. I'm going to talk to you, directly, honestly, the way I would talk to someone sitting across from me at my kitchen table who needed to understand what the sky has just done. I've been reading charts for 40 years. And in those 40 years, I have never had a week where I got the same email from so many of you. The same sentence, worded slightly differently every time, but always the same shape. Luna, something is about to break open. I don't know what, but I can feel it. You are not wrong. Let me tell you why. Uranus takes 84 years to orbit the Sun. 84 years, which means that every signpost it touches once in your lifetime, and only once. On April 25th of this year, 4 days ago, Uranus left Taurus, where it had been for 7 years, and entered Gemini, where it has not been since May of 1941. 85 years. Almost a full lifetime. And tomorrow morning, with Uranus barely settled in, only 11 minutes into the first degree of Gemini, Mars in Aries reaches 45 degrees across the sky and taps. That's the word. Taps. 45 degrees is what astrologers call a semi-square. It's not a confrontation, it's a tap on the shoulder, a spark, a match struck near a fuse you didn't know was there. And here is the part nobody talks about. The Sabian symbol, that's the visual metaphor astrologers assigned to each degree of the Zodiac, a kind of cosmic emoji from 1925. The Sabian symbol for the 16th degree of Aries, exactly where Mars stands tomorrow morning, is this: brightly clad brownies dancing in the warm, dying light. Nature spirits, visible at sunset, doing their work in the threshold between day and night. The key word Mark Edmund Jones gave it was one word: invigoration. And the Sabian symbol for the first degree of Gemini, where Uranus has just placed his foot, is this: a glass-bottomed boat reveals undersea wonders, curiosity, the sudden ability to see what was always under you, just hidden by the surface. Let that combination sit for a moment. Brownies dancing on the deck of a glass-bottom boat. The Mars impulse cracks open. The Uranus boat reveals what was beneath. The lightning bolt is not destruction, It is revelation. This is why I had to record this today. Now, I want to be honest with you about something most astrologers won't say. A Mars-Uranus semi-square by itself is a minor aspect, 45 degrees. It happens every 18-20 months. If this were just two planets making a small angle, I would not be sitting here. What makes tomorrow morning different? What makes me record this on a Monday afternoon when the sky still looks ordinary is the 84-year context. Mars is striking the match in the doorway of a room that has been closed for almost a century. Of course the spark is going to do something. Let me tell you what I'm seeing. 3 messages. 3 messages the cosmos is delivering tomorrow morning. And then I'll tell you exactly which signs feel this most, and exactly what I would do if you were sitting across from me right now. The first message is personal. It is in your body. And it goes like this. The reckless impulse you've been pushing down was actually wisdom. I mean that specifically. I'm not talking about wisdom in the abstract. I'm talking about the thing you have been about to do for years, the decision you have been about to make, the honest sentence you have been about to say, the ending you have been about to declare. You know exactly what I'm describing. There is one in your life, maybe 2. And every time it has surfaced, at 3 in the morning, in the shower, on a long drive, you have pushed it back down because it felt reckless. Look at me. It was not reckless. It was just early. The semi-square is the universe's way of saying, the impulse you have been treating as dangerous is actually delayed wisdom. Mars at home in Aries is your fight, your decision, your forward edge. Uranus, newly in Gemini, is your fresh language for a fresh chapter. When they touch tomorrow morning, you may wake up with the words already formed. You may find yourself reaching for the phone before you've had your coffee. You may feel, and this is the specific feeling, I want you to recognize it, you may feel suddenly tall, as if something inside you stood up. If you've been feeling exhausted by the act of holding back, you're not imagining it. The exhaustion you've been carrying, the specific weariness of swallowing a sentence you keep meaning to speak, has a name. It is Mars unfired. It is the body waiting to honor an impulse it has been told is reckless. And tomorrow morning, the cosmos is telling that body, go ahead. But I need to say this clearly. Go ahead does not mean act in the first hour. Go ahead means honor it. Write it down. Speak it out loud to yourself in the bathroom. Let it exist outside your body. Then wait 12 hours. 12 hours. The impulse that survives 12 hours is wisdom. The impulse that disappears in 12 hours was emotion looking for an exit. That is the first message. Now, the second one surprised even me. The second message is relational, and it is about a conversation you've been postponing. There is someone you have been meaning to talk to. I would bet, in my 40 years of chart reading, that you have already drafted the message, in your head, maybe in your notes app, maybe on a piece of paper you tore up. There is a conversation you have been carrying for at least 18 months. With a daughter, with a husband, with a sister, with an old friend you haven't spoken to since something happened, with your father, even if your father is no longer here. Uranus in Gemini is the planet of fresh language entering the house of communication. Mars in Aries striking that doorway is the spark that says, "It's time." But, and here is the part nobody talks about, the spark is 45 degrees, not 90. 45 degrees is not a confrontation. It is an opening. It is small. It is a window, not a door. Which means the conversation tomorrow morning wants to begin small. I am not telling you to send the long letter. I am not telling you to make the phone call from a place of heat. What I am telling you is this. Tomorrow, between 6:52 in the morning and the same time the day after, there is a 48-hour window where one short, true sentence, said warmly, will land more accurately than anything you have tried in 3 years. One sentence, not 5, 1. The woman who wrote to me last week, I'll call her Carol. She's 68, just outside Burlington in Vermont. Carol said something I haven't been able to stop thinking about. She said, "Luna, I keep waking up at 4 in the morning with the feeling that I've already made a decision I haven't told myself yet." I pulled up the sky for Carol's birthday, and what I saw made me sit down. This wasn't only Carol. Carol is 1,000 of you watching this. Born between 1956 and 1962. Pluto over your natal Saturn. Saturn over your natal Mercury. And tomorrow morning, Mars firing into the first degree of Gemini, exactly where your generation's progressed Mercury sits. What that means in plain language is this. Your generation's voice is being asked to come forward, not loudly, specifically, with one true sentence at a time. That's the second message. And now the third one. The third one is the one I had to read twice when I first saw it. The third message is generational, and it is this. You belong to an 84-year story. I want you to hold that for a moment. 84 years. The last time Uranus was where it is right now, entering Gemini, fresh 11 minutes into a new world point, was 1941. Specifically, May. Pearl Harbor was 7 months away. ENIAC, the first general-purpose electronic computer, was being designed inside a university basement. Radio was the dominant medium of the household. Penicillin was just becoming widely available. The world was about to be redrawn by war, by computing, by the splitting of the atom, by the founding of the United Nations, by the invention of the transistor, by the beginnings of color television. All of it happened inside the 8-year span of Uranus in Gemini, from 41 to 49. Now, look at where we are. Artificial intelligence has just become household conversation. Social media is rewiring how grandchildren learn to read. Geopolitical maps are being redrawn, quietly, every week, in the news. The way humans communicate is in the middle of its biggest reorganization since the invention of the printing press. And astrologers who study this, astrologers like me, who have been watching the sky for 40 years, have been saying for 2 decades, wait until Uranus enters Gemini in 2026. That's when this becomes visible. It is now visible. and you are watching it. That is not a small thing. That is not a coincidence. That is the cosmos placing you, specifically, on the bridge between two great communication revolutions. The generation that watched the radio give way to television gave you the world you grew up in. You are the generation that watches the search engine give way to the AI conversation. The 84-year cycle does not skip, it does not forget, it returns. I'll be honest, when I first saw this aspect, I had to read it twice, because the sky does not usually arrange a tap on the shoulder this beautifully. Mars semi-square Uranus, 11 minutes after Uranus enters Gemini for the first time in 84 years. That is not a forecast. That is a doorbell. And the question is, and this is the only question that matters tomorrow morning, what are you going to do when the door opens? All right, now, let me speak directly to the 3 signs feeling this most. And if your sun sign is not on this list, hear me clearly. Check your rising sign. Your rising sign is the lens through which any cosmic energy enters your specific life. Sometimes the rising sign is the louder address than the sun. If you're an Aries, or if Aries is rising for you, this is your week. Mars is in your domicile, your home, your seat of power. And Mars is the one striking the spark tomorrow morning. The first house, that's your body, your face, your presence in a room, is on fire in the most useful way. The specific question the cosmos is asking you is, what have you been about to do with your one body that you keep postponing because it felt selfish? And the action I would recommend before May 2nd is this. Take the impulse you have been hiding. Write it on a piece of paper. Put the paper on the kitchen counter. Look at it for 48 hours. If it survives 48 hours, take the first step. Just the first. If you're a Gemini, or if Gemini is rising for you, Uranus has just placed its full attention on you for the next 7 years. Tomorrow morning's spark is the introduction. Your first house, your identity, your voice, your mental architecture, is being reorganized by the planet of sudden truth. The specific question the cosmos is asking you is, what is the one sentence only you could say in your generation? Not the sentence you've been told to say, the one only you would say. And the action I would recommend this week is this. Get a notebook, write that sentence. Don't share it yet, just write it. The sentence you find this week is the sentence you will be living from for the next 7 years. If you're a Cancer, or if Cancer is rising for you, your 4th and 5th houses are activated, and the moon is at home in your sign, and Jupiter is exalted there. The specific question the cosmos is asking you is, who in your family lived through 1942, and what do they remember, even if they are no longer here, especially if they are no longer here? The action I would recommend this week is this. Call the oldest person in your family. Ask one question. What do you remember from when you were young? Not for nostalgia, for anchoring. The bodies that lived through the last Uranus and Gemini hold information your nervous system needs right now. Listen with your whole skin. And if you're not Aries, Gemini, or Cancer, and your rising isn't either, you are not exempt. You are simply experiencing this through a different house of your chart. The energy is the same. The question is the same. What have you been about to do that you keep postponing because you have been told it is reckless? The cosmos is telling you tomorrow morning, it was not reckless, it was just early. So I've shown you the sky, I've traced the history, and the question I get most from you in every email, in every comment, is the same one. Luna, what do I actually do with this? Let me give you something to do. Tonight, or tomorrow morning before 6:52, something specific, the kind of ritual I would do at my own kitchen table. You will need very little. A piece of paper, a pen, a candle, any candle. But if you have a red one or a white one, those are the colors of Mars and Uranus. A cup of water. And if you have a small stone or crystal, clear quartz, amethyst, anything you have already in your home, bring that too. If you don't, your hand on the cup of water is enough. First, you sit. 3 slow breaths, hand on your chest, and you say out loud to yourself, I am here. It is 2026. I am your age, years old. I belong to this moment. Just that. The body needs to be told it is allowed to be present. Second, you write. On the paper, finish this sentence with whatever comes first. What I have been about to do for years, but never did, is... Don't think too hard. The first answer is the true one. The second answer is the polite one. Third, you pause. You look at what you wrote. You count to 3 in silence, and you ask yourself gently, is this the impulse? Or is this the wisdom? An impulse is restless. Wisdom is quiet. If it is impulse, breathe and let it cool. If it is wisdom, if when you look at the words a small calm settles in your chest, circle it. Fourth, you light the candle. Hand on the stone or hand on the cup of water. And you say out loud these exact words. I want you to use the exact words. I belong to a story that began before me and continues after me. The impulse that asks to be honored will be honored, not in haste, but in time. I trust the lightning to land where it must land. Say it twice if you need to. And fifth, you close. Fold the paper toward yourself, not away from you. This is for integrating, not discarding. Blow the candle out gently, downward. Drink the water. And then, this is the part that matters most. Step outside, even for 3 minutes. Look up at the sky at least once. The sky is where this is happening. You are part of it. After 40 years of watching people move through these cycles, Here is what I have seen actually work. The people who treat the impulse as an enemy break under it. The people who treat the impulse as wisdom delayed become the version of themselves they have been trying to become for a decade. That's it. That's the whole secret. Let me answer some of the questions I know you are already asking. What if I miss the 6:52 window? You are not missing anything. The energy is active for 48 hours after the exact aspect. You have until May 1st to do this ritual. The cosmos is not punishing latecomers. It is just suggesting peak. What if I do this and nothing happens visibly? Nothing happens visibly is not the same as nothing happens. Mars-Uranus aspects often plant. They show up 6 weeks later as a decision that finally feels easy. Trust the planting. What if my sign wasn't mentioned? Check your rising. Check your moon. The energy is in your chart somewhere. It is just expressing through a different house. The question is the same. What about the people in my life who don't know any of this? They are still living it. Astrology does not require belief to operate. It is a clock. The clock does not ask if you read it. What if I'm afraid of what the impulse is asking? Then you already know what the impulse is asking. Fear is the recognition the body has of a truth the mind hasn't accepted yet. That is also wisdom. All right, here is what I want you to walk away with today. First, the impulse you have been pushing down is not reckless. It is delayed wisdom. Honor it tomorrow morning. Write it. Wait 12 hours. The wisdom that survives 12 hours is the truth. Second, there is one short, true sentence you owe to one specific person in your life. Send it warmly, not 5 sentences, 1. Third, you belong to an 84-year story. The generation before you crossed the radio to computer bridge. You are crossing the search to AI bridge. This is not a coincidence. The cosmos has been preparing your generation to be witnesses. That is what tomorrow morning is doing. The stars are not against you. They have never been against you. They have been waiting patiently for 84 years to bring this exact spark into your exact lifetime. You are not late. You are not behind. You are right on time. Tell me in the comments which of the 3 messages landed most powerfully: the personal, the relational, or the generational. I read every word, and what you tell me guides what I record next. The next 2 weeks of the sky are critical, and I want to follow you, not lead you. If this resonated, the link below in the description has my full 2026 Cosmic Roadmap. Free, just because I wanted you to have it. And if you're new here, subscribe so you don't miss what comes next. Because what's coming in May, with Mars finishing Aries and Saturn-Neptune still locked in their conjunction, is the chapter after this one. Until next time, keep looking up. This is Luna Solano.